Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. This is a special Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation that we're having with Ms. Teresa Jordan, owner, operator of Triumph Magazine. They are in their fourth year. Oh my goodness. Fourth anniversary of doing an online subscription magazine. The work has been diligent, and thank you so much, Teresa, for bringing it to us. I remember the humble beginnings, but why don't you share that with our audience?
Okay, and first of all, I want to just say thank you, Miss Donna Banks, for having me here today on your show. And yes, you are part of the humble beginnings because we started in 2017, and actually we were blessed to have you be featured in the magazine as well.
Yes, thank you so
because,
much.
You have the largest Fresh Book Festival out there, so we thank God for you. But the humble beginnings started with my church, St. James. We're located in Osteen, Florida. Our pastor, or our church rather, was celebrating 100 years. And I couldn't find anybody out there that would share the good news of a church still standing after 100 years. So I went to Channel 2, Channel 6, and 9 News, and it was pretty much telling me if it wasn't bad news, they didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, my.
And then I went to Lake Mary Magazine, and they only featured Seminole County. They didn't feature Volusia County. So the only place that I was able to get to write an article about us was the Beacon newspaper.
Oh, they're always a good community.
Absolutely, in D-Land, Florida. So that happened in 2014. So it was like a baby. God allowed me to carry it like a baby for 3 years.
Wow.
And he wouldn't let me shake it. And it was like, why aren't people talking about the great things that are going on in our communities? And I actually have a vision board. I believe in doing vision boards every single year. And I did a vision board, and on it, I put the Triumphant Magazine, and I went to a conference where it had I am statements. And I put in there that I'm going to have Triumphant Magazine. I said, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know you're going to bring it to pass.
Right.
And the only thing I felt to do, Miss Donna, I forgot to put the date on it. So anytime you write something like that, you need to make sure you put the date. That when it comes to pass, you could say, okay, I wrote it such and such date. But after prayer and everything, I ran into a young lady that believed into the vision, and she had her own magazine. And she was like, okay, we're going to do a contract for 6 months. So we went ahead and did a contract. And then she was like, you have 2 weeks to get it together. And I was like, Lord, how am I going to come up with this in 2 weeks? And so anyway, God just started dealing with me. He said, you want to deal with churches? Start at home, which was my church. My pastor had been pastoring for 18 years. And my evangelist, we call her the beautiful F.R.E.S.H Shavers, she was a breast cancer survivor. And at the time, I want to say she was like 9 years or 10 years breast cancer.
Right.
Yeah. So we started there. So we had to start at home. So God was good and awesome.
And I remember working in New Smyrna when you came to visit me.
Yes.
And we kind of did an outline of what you could imagine, right?
Yes.
And so, and that was that 17?
It was.
Oh,
it was
my
like
goodness.
17. Yeah, time flies.
That really flies. So we're so proud of you. That from that humble beginning, I remember that you had a notebook and you were taking notes and just trying to keep up with everything that was going on. So we are very proud of your accomplishments in 4 years. So every new venture has bumps in the road. For all our young entrepreneurs, talk about the missteps that you can share with others in the magazine business.
I would say, don't be afraid to get around great people, like such as yourself, Miss Donna, and also like Angie B. and Dr. Evelyn Bethune and Dr. Ronald Duran, and Dr. Primrose. They're all strong people. I heard a quote one time on TV say, if you could see it, then you can be it. So there were times in the beginning where I struggled with my writing because I wasn't a writer, but at the same token, I had strong people around me that were writers and believed in the vision that God gave me. So don't be afraid to embrace people that are greater than you, that are already there. And
or people that have, the gifts that you don't.
Absolutely.
Because God doesn't give us all the same gifts, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to reach out to people who have different gifts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you did that in the special authors that you have in the book, and they write their own segment. Is that correct?
That is correct. They write from the heart, and I don't give them any kind of directions at all. And honestly, it's great that you mentioned that, Miss Donna, because I sit in here in my office, and when I'm sitting here, and if it doesn't move me, it's like, how is it going to move somebody else?
Right.
And sometimes the articles that they write have me in the office in tears. So I'm like, if it's moving me, it's going to move somebody else.
Right. And that's the point. When you get something that fulfills you, right, you know that that same fulfillment will be put on paper and everybody else will feel that same feeling. So that's important. If it doesn't move you, then, maybe we got to go back to the drawing board.
That's it. Let's do it again.
So when you were, this is not one of the questions that I sent you, but when you were looking for how to publish it,
yes,
or whether it was going to be subscribed or whether it was going to be internet based, how did you decide, or was that a progression?
Like you said, it was the progression. And I would say like a couple of things that stirred me up, that it was good and that it needed to be out there and it was needed. My mom, she passed away 2 years ago, and she would literally wait at the mailbox, wait for the mailman, because she was in Paterson, New Jersey. She would wait for the mailman to actually drop off the new magazine, because it comes out every single month. Oh, and like in the beginning, my growing pains, like I said, I had the young lady that believed in me, but then during the 4th month, I had to make a decision whether I was going to stay with her for another 2 months, because we had a 6-month contract. And my mom believed in it so much too. She told me, she was like, Teresa, you could do this yourself. And at the time I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing the layout, the creativity, the writing, or anything. And she pushed that in me. And then another great thing too, when I had Dr. Lucille O'Neill, which was last year, May 2020, she mentioned to me how she put it next to Oprah Magazine. Like in her house, she was going to put it next to Oprah Magazine. And that's always been a vision of mine with the magazine, for God to make it like Oprah, but
absolutely.
On the Christian side.
Yes. Right. And so for her to do that,
yes.
And for those who do not know who Lucille O'Neill is, that's Shaq's mama.
That's huge. That's huge.
That's huge. That is huge. Yeah. So, and that transitions right into the next question. Talk about the many people you have met during the venture, and how did you recruit such famous people to be on the cover of the magazine?
And that's a great question too. You got a lot of great questions over there. With that right there, honestly, you know how you ever heard somebody say, your dreams, God's dreams are bigger than your dreams? Mm-hmm. And when we started it in 2017, I was just looking locally, but then God started taking it nationally. And I met Dr. Lucille O'Neill at the asthma kickoff.
Oh, for JoJo.
JoJo O'Neill.
Yeah.
And
shout out to JoJo O'Neill.
That's it, JoJo O'Neill. So when I went to the event a couple of years ago, I actually met Shaq's mom at a concert. This is how God pulled things full circle. I met her at a concert, and the gentleman, Tom Joyner, he had a not so much a concert, he had his event over there in Orlando, Florida.
The Gaylord Palms.
Yes. He had over there. And I knew it was Shaq's mom without even looking at her, because just how tall she was. And I was like, she's a beautiful lady. So we took a picture together, and I still had a picture on my phone today. And I don't think she remembered it, because she's nice and lovely to everybody.
Everybody.
But then it goes back to full circle when I went to JoJo O'Neill's affair that she had in Orlando with Let's Kick Asthma. I went up to her and I told her, I said, I need your number. So she gave me her number. And then I called her and I was like, okay, I need you to be in the magazine May 2020. And that's where it started at. She never said, Teresa, no, I'm not going to do it. She was willing. So we stayed in touch with each other and we made it happen. And from there, God he just started taking it to different levels.
Well, listen, once you have Lucille on the cover, everybody else wants to just fall in line.
That's it. We've been blessed.
They just want to fall in line. So
that's it.
I know that it is a Christian magazine, but you have delved into other things.
Absolutely.
Right? So tell us about some of the other portions of the magazine that are fulfilling. I know we just went through alopecia, right?
Absolutely.
Which was fabulous. And shout out to Angie B. and Barty for the alopecia event. It was fabulous and very well needed. Talk about some other things that you have pulled in from the community to be part of the magazine.
And that's a great question. We also had actually Dr. Durham when he was going out for office. And then Percy, we had Percy
Right.
Williamson, he was also on it. And honestly,
So
it's
politically, you've gotten involved also, right? Okay.
absolutely
Mhm.
politically as well. And then just showcasing, like we said earlier, those that need to be noticed. A lot of times we have a lot of great people out there doing great things, and they're doing it unapologetically, and it's not brought out to us as much. So we need to be able to shine that light on everything that they do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so for those of you who are doing great things in the community,
Yes,
reach out to Teresa.
absolutely.
She cannot tell you when, and she
That's it.
cannot tell you how. I mean, she has a
Right.
committee that makes those decisions, but
Yes.
reach out and see if you can be part of a decision changing
Yes.
portion of the magazine. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So your magazine has been around 4 years now. I remember what
Oh,
the first one looked like. Tell me
yes.
how it has expanded in the last 4 years.
Wow, it's expanded like so much. I mean, we're blessed to have overseer Mel Dawson. He's one of the writers, and I don't know if a lot of people know him, but he's the actual gospel singer. So he's one of the writers that we have in there. And then we have a gentleman named John. He's from actually, I want to say he's from Dominican Republic. He's one
Okay.
of the writers in there. And I'm just grateful because like a lot of the writers have been with me from like day one. I remember with Dr. Evelyn Bethune, she was like, she wanted to be a blogger. And I was like, well, you don't need to look anywhere else. You're going to
Right.
blog for Triumphant Magazine.
Right.
And they have been faithful to doing what they're doing. But it has expanded so many ways. Like you said, we have digital, we have hard copies. We also have it where you can do audiobooks thanks to Angie B. She Angie B. Productions. She actually
Right.
makes audiobooks every single month. And honestly, I didn't see it that way. That's why you have to put people around you that have a bigger vision than you have, because you could go in places you wouldn't even imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When
Yes,
people say to me, Donna, don't you think this would be good for Fresh? Yes,
that's it.
I do.
That's
Yes, I
that's it.
do.
And you have to
Because
be
you can't think of
open-minded.
everything, huh?
You have to be open-minded, like you said, and receptive.
Open-minded and receptive. And
Yes,
so the marketing plan, I know
yes,
in the beginning you probably said, now I got this idea. I got
yes.
all the people in place. What do I do now? So what was
Right.
your first step?
My first step was getting everybody's buy-in that it was a great idea. Sponsorship.
Wait a minute, Teresa. When you came went to your husband and you
Oh, you
said,
said with my husband? Oh no, my husband didn't buy into it in the beginning.
right, I'm sorry, he said, have you lost your mind?
He did. He really did.
Yeah,
Honestly, he did. And then
I'm sure.
his
Yes.
brother is from Washington State, and I have been talking about it, like I said, from 2014 to 17. And he actually does his own music, instrumental. He's like a guitar player, so he actually have CDs out there. And he one day he was talking trash to me. He was like, "You've been talking about this Triumphant magazine, where it is, where it is." And I said, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna be in it, so don't worry about it." In actuality, he was in it. And then I had I had my daughter's godfather say to me, "I see on the Facebook page you have Triumphant Magazine. Where is that?" I said, "Don't worry, it's coming." So I kept speaking it, even though it wasn't there.
Right, 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 right.
And then,
And so once you got buy-in, then
yes,
what was the marketing strategy? What you
the
just kind of
next,
handed it out at first to get it out into the public?
absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Handed it out, and actually, there was a need, like how we were saying with Dr. Durham, we were able to promote what he was doing out there within the community, and also having great sponsorship, because that's important. Having people that are willing to advertise, people that are willing to subscribe, and people to push it out there. So a lot of the writers helped me be able to push it out there.
Are you able to give young writers a chance to develop their skills with a magazine? I mean, have you gotten to a point where maybe you could have a collaboration with a university where students could write certain sections? Have you thought about that?
Honestly, yes, I would love to have high school students as well as college students
Right.
participate in it. When we first started in 2017, I had a young lady that was in a sophomore in high school, and she was writing about cyberbullying. And then I don't know what happened, but she never like continued writing. But yes, I mean, I would love it because a lot of the students need internships, especially if they want to do writing. And plus, they could bring a lot to us as far as the internet and the Instagram, the YouTube, because they're more
Right.
efficient with it. So yes, I would welcome it any day.
So everybody out there, she is more than willing to have
Yes,
interns. If you want to
yes,
build your writing skills, it doesn't have to be a full feature, but maybe one
no,
page. You'd like to talk
absolutely.
about, life as it is today, because
Yes,
your vision of your life is not the way we see it, right? Because we're
absolutely.
much older than you. So reach out
Yes,
to Teresa if that is something that you've had on your mind for a while to do as a writer. And
absolutely. You're
it has to
welcome.
start there, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so let's talk about the pivot. So March 2nd came and the city shut down, the world shut
Oh,
down,
goodness.
right?
Yes,
And I know for me, when
yes.
that happened, I thought, okay, God, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now?
That's it.
Right?
That's
What are we
it.
going to do now? And
Totally
he
shut down.
said, you're going to cross the waters.
And that's it.
And so Fresh
He had
went to
to.
the UK.
That's
Fresh
it.
went to Indonesia. So tell us about your pivot during the
I
pandemic.
love it. And I love how you pivoted, like how you said as well. But like you said, it forced us to get out of our comfort zone. I mean, I would never do a Zoom. I've always been like a person in the back, and it made me have to go to the front. Like even on Facebook, like I've never been out there, and God is like, oh no, you're going to have to start putting a face with the magazine. That way people could know that there's somebody that go with the magazine. So
Right.
YouTube channel, never did a YouTube channel. So it had me get out. TikTok, never did a TikTok. So it made me pivot, like you said, and we became more digital. So we were able to email, and it saved money because
Oh,
instead of always
absolutely.
doing the hard copies, we were able to do the digital or the audio book that can simply be emailed to someone.
So it's I'm sure November, March 2nd, March 20th, whenever it finally hits you that, oh my God, what are we going to do now?
I
That
know.
is always, I'm not a real biblical person, but I think they call it a ram in the bush.
That's it.
If
Ram
you
in the
hear,
bush.
if you
Ram in
let
the bush.
yourself hear it, right?
That's it.
Because he'll
Ram in
give
the
it
bush.
to you if you let yourself hear it. And
Absolutely.
once you made the pivot and did the subscriptions and put yourself more out there, this is
Yes.
something you're going to continue to do, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Because
okay.
honestly, I didn't know it was in me. How you said a lot of stuff that was in us last year, we didn't know it was in us.
I know, you just never know. I thought, and I heard, and he said, yeah, you're going to go across the waters. And I said, okay, you mean the Halifax River? What you talking
No,
about?
you
Yeah,
went globally, internationally. You was all because we were on
exactly.
some of the shows with you as well.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so it's just amazing what you can accomplish when you have to pivot, right? And so
Absolutely.
you've done a really good job of making that
Thank
pivot.
you.
And I want to say to everybody, there is a pivot in all of us. Don't get stuck,
Yes,
you know.
that's it. Don't
Just,
get stuck.
yeah, don't get stuck. Just sit a minute and it will come to you. So talk about the support you receive from friends and family. And was that the catalyst to move forward with the magazine? So your mother was behind you.
Yes.
We finally got your man behind you because sometimes it takes them a
Yes.
little while, and friends and family. So once that support happened, was there any time when you felt like this is a mistake?
Honestly, no. I mean,
Okay.
I've had some hard lessons like within it. Like sometimes I'm a trusting person, and sometimes you take people at their word with what they say they're gonna do,
Yeah.
and then you get burnt a couple of times, but then you
Yeah.
get smarter and wiser, and you know what not to do. So
Yeah.
you learn real quick.
And it comes from the people that you least suspect.
Absolutely, and
Right.
you telling the truth.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
you're
comes from
telling the truth.
people that you least suspect. So
That's it.
but you have to get
You
burned.
grow from it.
Right. You know what I mean? You got to burn some macaroni before you know how to really make
That's that's true.
it.
That's true.
I mean, I can't tell you how many macaroni casseroles I
Woo,
burned up before.
a lot of them got burnt.
You made
Not no more.
a really good one. So yeah, you get a little wiser and
Yes.
don't put it as much ingredients in the pot, right?
That's
And that has
it.
to do with business too, right? You know,
Absolutely.
keep yourself surrounded by eagles
That's it.
because they're
Not
all going to soar, right? And
we want to
so
soar. We
you
want
want
to
to
be around
soar.
those that are soaring.
So I don't want to put you on the spot. So I know that you met Lucille O'Neill, but tell me, what was the one person that you said, ah, I can't believe you're going to be on the
Yes.
magazine?
That's easy for me because
Okay.
like I have always been a huge fan of Pastor Luther Barnes.
Okay.
And because like when I was in high school, he had the song out, It's Your Time.
It's your time.
And when I was going through some changes during that time, and I used to always listen to his songs. And I do like events as well. So we were going to do an unforgettable Valentine's Day last year, and he was going to be there to the event. But with
Right.
everything, like you said, going on with the pandemic, we weren't able to do it. So it was shut down. So my birthday, I turned 50 this year, January. And I spoke
Congratulations.
thank you. So I spoke to Pastor Luther Barnes, and I was like, well, let's do it in January. I said, that's an excellent birthday present. And I could honestly say I was nervous with his interview because I've been following him like forever. I was nervous with his interview, and then also Dr. Lucille O'Neill, but he was down to earth, wonderful man. And I don't know, he just was incredible just to hear his story, hear his testimony, and all the different things he went through as an artist, and how a lot of people doubted him in the beginning, but then he was able to show them because they didn't believe in the gospel music. It was like, oh, how are you going to make money in gospel music? And some of the things he was saying is, if he could go back to the people right now and say, hey, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
And so let me tell us how the interview went. I mean, did it go smoothly, or were you just kind of sitting there for a minute and saying,
it went, I was like star shocked because like, I mean, I've been following him for years. Like I have like all the songs on my phone, and I listen to it on YouTube. And when I sent it to him to review, I was like nervous. I was like nervous about what he was going to say, what he was going to think. And it wasn't even that bad.
Right. I mean, yeah.
It really wasn't. And he was just laughing at me. He was like, you know, Teresa, it's really not that bad. And you know, we stay in touch with each other. I have his phone number every now. I check on him and see how he's doing. And it's a blessing that when you know people like that, they know that you're not after who they are. You just care about them as people. And I think they really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think everybody gets a starstruck moment. Mine was when I brokered Charlemagne the God's book, right? And on the Breakfast Club, right? And then I finally said, listen, this young man could be your son, you know?
That's it. Had to change it around.
Change it around.
That's it. Easy.
And so once I did that, it went really, really well. But the first, 5 minutes,
absolutely.
Like, how am I going to do this, right? And then I said, you could have gave birth to this young man. Just make it happen, right?
That's it. That's it.
So moving forward to the 5th year.
Yes. So
what's the vision?
The 5th year, I would love to have a gala, because it's next year. I would love to have a huge gala. And then I would love to have like a lot of people that's been on the magazine to be able to come. And for people that have like a panel where people ask questions, and they'll be able to, hear singing and just make it really, really awesome.
That would be great. Yeah. Any changes in the magazine you want to make?
I like the recommendation you said about the 5x9, like thinking about doing a 5x9.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. I mean, just because it's portable, right? Absolutely. So you can take it and put it in your purse.
Yes.
Travel with it. Sometimes 8.5 by 11 gets a little bit bulky, right?
It's too big.
But a 5x9, I can throw it in my purse and get on the plane, read it, throw it back in the purse. In the bathroom, read it, go back in the purse. You can kind of carry it around. Absolutely. So I mean, they all don't have to be that, but just thinking about cost.
Yes, right? That's true.
And portability. Portability more than anything else, because most of our purses are bigger than 5x9, right?
Absolutely.
But not as big as 8.5 by.
No. Well, not nowadays.
Not nowadays. I try to carry smaller purses possible.
That's it.
Right.
That's
but I mean, back in the day, it probably would have fit right in.
Had the big.
But most of the bigger purses are shoes. a shawl, a change of clothes, you know what I mean? So you don't want to
That's
throw it
it.
in that bag, right? So
No,
yeah.
you don't want to get
So
it messed up.
right, exactly. So yeah, I
No,
think you should think about that just
I
for
do.
portability reasons. So
Yes,
tell me, have you ever featured a sorority or a fraternity? Because they have huge history.
right, they do. I haven't done it yet. The closest that I have done it, and I definitely appreciate that recommendation as well, is with Michael Williams.
Mm.
He was the former president of the NAACP. So we actually featured him actually June 2021, but I would welcome it. Yes, I would welcome the idea
Yeah,
of being
well,
able to do it.
Commissioner Paula Reed is the president of the Deltas in
Oh,
Daytona
that's
Beach, right?
true.
She
That
could
is
probably
true.
put you in touch with the head person
Oh,
in
that's true.
DC, or you could interview her herself because they
Oh, yeah,
have
that'd be
a
nice.
long history
Oh, yeah.
of servitude and community oriented things, and they have the Delta Gems. And I'm not picking on just the Deltas,
No,
just
I
what
know
I
what you're
know,
saying.
right?
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
a group of young people that they bring along every year.
Right.
And so it would be a nice article because I don't think a lot of people understand the history of
That's
fraternity
it. And it's a
and
lot of history.
sororities, right? And the
Mhm.
Masons, and how it
Yes.
was very a protection for us.
Yes.
It was what we call a sophisticated gang, right?
Right. You said sophisticated. I love
Right,
it.
because I mean, if you went out at college, at night, and you had your girls with you, you felt safer. You had your guys
Absolutely.
with you, you felt safer. Depending on what state you were in school, you just
Right.
didn't want to walk around lolly lolly without,
No, not at
protection.
all.
Besides God's protection, other
Yes,
people around you, right? So it culminates a lot of things. So
it
maybe if you
does.
reach out to them, just because I think people will be very surprised at how the lineage of the alphas, the
Right.
lineage of the omegas, right? It goes back
Right.
a long way.
I think that'll be awesome.
So let's go back to the 5x9. How um, would the pivot be that hard to do that?
I
Even
don't
have
believe
oh,
so. I don't believe so. I just have to get with the gentleman that does the printing and bring
mm,
it up to him. That way he could let me know what I need to kind of change up a little bit. But I don't believe it will be hard at all.
yeah, just for
It shouldn't be.
portability. Yeah. So
Mhm.
in this day of instant reading gratification, we
Yes.
are extremely proud of your accomplishment as it lifts literacy to new heights. Is this what you were expecting?
No, no, to be honest with you, no.
Really?
It's freezing up. I don't know. It froze up for a
That's
second.
okay. Go ahead.
But no, honestly, no, because like I was saying earlier, it's like God's. I always say my favorite scripture is with God, all things are possible, and I tell you, he's blowing my mind each and every single day. And I all I get, it's there's a song out there that say, "Won't he do it?" And my backing of that is yes, every time if we let him. And
And when we were at the event for Bold, Bald, and Beautiful, there were young
yes,
people walking around with your magazine, and I thought, oh
yes,
my goodness,
that's
that's
that's it.
exactly what we want to see, right? We
Yes,
want to,
absolutely.
even if they look at the pictures and have to make up their own words, right?
Absolutely,
Just having it
absolutely.
in their hands and making them
Yes,
part of the
it's a
process.
blessing.
It is. It definitely is.
And
So finally, how has your spiritual life assisted you in the goal to become a successful, we're going to call you a serial entrepreneur?
all right, I love it. We accept it.
Yeah.
Yes. But I would say just staying grounded and being humble, because I feel
Mm,
like if you're humble, that's where the exalting takes place. Like, be humble and know
mm,
your humble beginnings, like how you
right.
said that. I had somebody tell me one time, don't, and it actually was overseer Melvin Dawson mom. She passed away the same time my mom did in
Oh, yeah.
2020. And she told me, she said, don't despise small beginnings. And that's what it is. You have to make
I
sure
think they
you,
call that a mustard seed faith,
that's it.
right?
Mustard seed faith. That's it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
You gotta have it,
Keep
because
it.
if you put a seed in the ground, great, beautiful things bloom from it, right? But it
Absolutely.
starts very, very small. So is
Yes.
there anything else you want to share that we have not touched?
I would just say, definitely check us out. We're on YouTube at Triumphant Magazine. You also can find us on Instagram. We also have a channel, or we have a page rather, on Facebook. So definitely follow us, support us, and
And
let
how
us
can the
know.
young people reach you if they want to be a part of a blog or a writing series?
Absolutely. They can actually email us directly at Triumphant Magazine 2017 at gmail.com. So you can email us.
Gmail.com.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll put that in the description when we go up
absolutely.
on YouTube and on Facebook. And thank you so much
No,
for this
thank
awesome
you.
interview.
No, thank you.
We pray for an abundance of subscribers and features
Yes,
in the future, and successful road be paved for
yes.
Triumphant Magazine.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, and we'll see each other real soon.
Okay, sounds great. God bless.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.